Hello and welcome to The Beat, a news and talk program brought to you by the Center for Community Media at Worcester State University. I'm your host, Blake Thorne, and today we will be interviewing Dr. Daron Barnard. Thank you for being here with us today, Dr. Barnard. We appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
So, would you please start off by telling our viewers your background and how you became the director of the Aisiku STEM Center?
Sure. So I went to a small liberal arts college, and while I was there, I got engaged in some biological research. So I'm a biologist, when I was there, I was watching my professor and seeing my professor both teach students and teach research. I said, this is what I want to do. But the road to get there is a little long. I went to graduate school. I then did a postdoc just across town at UMass Medical School. Was there for 4 years, taught a little bit at the College for the Holy Cross, and a job opening in developmental biology and genetics opened up here, and I was lucky enough to step into that position. That was a great opportunity. Since that time, that was 15 years ago that I came here, I've been teaching in the biology department, teaching molecular biology, developmental biology, bioinformatics. And then about 5 years ago, we had a grant opportunity from the state. The state offered us ways to support students in the STEM fields by doing a program called supplemental instruction, which I'll come back to later if you're interested. It's a program to provide student-led educational opportunities for them to learn the material. But that grant brought together 5 different faculty members from different STEM fields, which were chemistry, earth environment physics, biology, computer science, and mathematics. So those 5 departments each gave a representative to this group to help run this program. During that time, we decided, we really ought to work with this as a more established group. And we proposed and had approved the STEM Center. And how did I become the director? I don't know. Lucky, I guess. We needed somebody at the time. At the time, we needed somebody to fill some of those roles, and it just so happened that I was available for that.
Wow, that's amazing. For anyone watching that might not know, can you explain what STEM stands for?
Sure. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So it is broadly used to describe the sciences. So obviously at Worcester State, we don't have an engineering department, but we still use the term STEM. The science, technology, and mathematics all are things that we have and we are promoting, but STEM is the recognizable acronym for that.
What is the mission of the STEM Center?
So when we did propose this center, what we looked for, our mission that we gave was to provide opportunities for students by pooling our resources and bringing together faculty and students in interdisciplinary fashion to facilitate learning and to really see how we can achieve things that we couldn't alone.
Who is Imoigele, and how did his name become associated with the center?
So, Dr. Aisiku has been a great supporter of Worcester State for many years. Dr. Aisiku graduated from Worcester State in 1992. He then went to UMass Med School and got his MD there. He also went down to Emory afterwards and got both Master's in Public Health and an MBA. He's extremely well educated, and he is a critical care neurologist. Right now he's working for Brigham and Women's Hospital, and how has he gotten involved? He came back to Worcester State about, I want to say 10 to 12 years ago and said, what is it that I could provide? And he provided, at that time, he provided some funding to allow students to do research over the summer. And he provided 10 years of funding for students to do research with faculty members from biological, biotechnology, chemistry, those areas. He did that for many years. When we proposed the STEM Center and the STEM Center sort of became a reality, he came to us and said, tell me more about what you're doing. And so we sat with him, we had long discussions about what we thought the STEM Center could do and what we wanted to do. And he came back and said, I like this. And he provided us with funding to do a lot of the things that we've been doing over the past 5 years or so. So he gave a very generous gift. Most importantly, I'd say that he's given the gift of his time and energy, but he also gave a very sizable financial gift to the institution to support the work of the STEM Center. And with that, when we had established the STEM Center at that point, but with his gift to the college, we renamed it after him in honor of all the work that he's done.
That's amazing. The STEM Center incorporates a peer-assisted learning model into STEM courses. Can you explain how that model works?
Sure. So this takes us right back to the beginning, because the peer-assisted learning, or PAL program as we call it, has its origins in the supplemental instruction that we had originally proposed. That was the whole sort of beginning of us getting together, was the supplemental instruction. We have rebranded it as PAL, Peer-Assisted Learning, thinking that it better describes what we're doing. Supplemental instruction tends to suggest some kind of re-lecturing or somebody giving instruction, and that's not really what it's about. So we rebranded this as peer-assisted learning. What we do is we have students who go to classes. They've already taken these classes, say Gen Chem 1, Chemistry 120. They've taken that class, they've done well. The professor has said, this student has sort of maturity as well as the academic chops to really help others. So the student goes back to that class, sits in on the class, and designs activities for students outside of class. So the student, we call them PAL mentors. The PAL mentor will design a set of activities that the mentor will offer at two different times during the week to bring students together. And one of the hallmarks of this model is that it's not the PAL mentor teaching. The PAL mentor is setting up the environment and setting up the learning structure so that the other students can learn from each other. So if you walked into one of these sessions, it shouldn't be immediately obvious which one was the PAL mentor, because they're not standing up, they're not pointing things out on the board. They may be sitting in one of the chairs with everybody else as everybody's working on things, talking. So they're setting up these activities, but it's based around what the course is doing at that time. So it's really sort of based in the course, sort of academic activities, things that'll help them, group learning activities that'll teach them how to better succeed. And it's actually a well-established program that came out of the University of Missouri, Kansas City, that has been shown to raise students' grades. You know, whether you're a B student, if you attend these, it raises you by, on average, a grade. So B student coming in might expect to go to an A if they constantly attend this. So it's a powerful program. It's also great for the mentors too. So I mean, it's a win-win. The students learn, they benefit. The PAL mentors get this leadership, this teaching experience, and they benefit as well. And I think the school benefits.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. The STEM Center also creates interdisciplinary research teams where undergraduate students work with researchers on campus. What types of research projects have students worked on, and why is this research important to STEM fields?
Great question. So the interdisciplinary is sort of at the core of STEM. I mean, it's not science, it's science, technology, engineering and mathematics. It's all of those together, and that interdisciplinary nature of the field, of those fields put together, is where we really wanted to focus a lot of our energy. So we have been offering these grants that allow students and faculty to work on projects together. And part of the requirement is that they have to involve faculty and students from different departments and different fields. So it can't be a bunch of biologists get together and we've got this great idea and we put in a grant. It's got to be a biologist, a chemist, or a earth environment physicist, something like that. So we've had 3 of these so far. The first one was looking at antimicrobial compounds. So it had some chemists and biologists working on some antimicrobial compounds, how to synthesize them and how to test them. We had the second was looking at virtual reality as a mechanism to provide field trips to people who weren't able to attend the field trips themselves for reasons of either mobility or what have you. You couldn't go out into the field. This was a way to provide those experiences. And there we had a biologist, we had somebody, and then 2 professors from earth, environment, and physics. And then the third, the most recent one, was, let's see, we had a biologist, a chemist, and an earth, environment, and physics professors and students all working together on the partridge berry. And this, so it's looking at a plant and trying to determine what were the different things that were allowing it to, I think it was, they were looking at the blooming and when it bloomed, and so they had to do this. This was over this past summer. This was a tough summer to do any kind of research, and they did an incredible job of being able to make this work, because it's very time dependent. If you're going to be looking at something blooming, or you've got a window. And so they were able to make this all work. So the next call is going to go out soon for the coming year. And again, we hope to get some great proposals in for that.
That's awesome.
Oh, I didn't answer your question. Sorry, you said, why is it important? So I think that one of the important things is for students to see that chemistry is a field, but chemists and biologists work together. And they work together with environmental sciences, and they work together with the mathematicians and the computer scientists. I think that modeling how research is actually done, that it can't be done just in isolation, that you have all of these different influences that can make the research a stronger experience. I think that modeling that for students is extremely important.
I can agree. What is the Brigham-WSU Bridge to Excellence program, and how does it work?
So that program, the Bridge to Excellence program, was the brainchild of Dr. Aisiku. Again, he's working at Brigham and Women's, and he thought, I've got all of these faculty around me that have this great expertise that they could share with the students at Worcester State. So what he did was he asked his colleagues to if they could come give a talk at Worcester State, to do so. And we had a series of talks. We didn't have, last year, I don't think we had any, largely because of the way the year went. But we've had a series of talks that have brought in very respected researchers, physicians, administrators from Brigham and Women's that have talked to us about what they do, their areas of research, in many cases, the interdisciplinary nature of their research. So that program has been fantastic for really broadening the fields of what our students get to see. We have a lot here in Worcester, but then to bring people in from outside, it's great.
What are some of the other community partnerships that are ongoing or that have been previously established by the STEM Center?
So we have, in terms of partnerships, the STEM Center is kind of providing a place where we can interface with companies outside. We work with, we've had, let's see, the St. Gobain came to us and said, you know, what can we talk about how the STEM Center might be a place to work out internships. We work with, there's a Central Mass STEM ecosystem that is, it's a group of faculty, teachers from secondary education, parent groups, researchers, industry, you name it, all of the different sort of stakeholders in STEM from the Central Mass region get together and try to, again, pool our resources. It's like our STEM Center taken to the next level on a regional basis. It's right now being led by some researchers at WPI and involve the Ecotarium and other places like that. But that's another community partnership. The STEM Center is sort of the point of contact for that. Other things, we've been involved in a bunch of grants that are, again, the STEM Center being a place where we can sort of tie those grants to Worcester State. One, we have a teacher preparation grant with the state of Massachusetts that involves Worcester State and QCC working together, and Westfield State and then MCLA and community colleges out in each of those areas. In each case, these are trying to help students come from community colleges to the four-year colleges and then on to teaching in the STEM sciences. So the STEM Center is a place where that grant sort of could be funneled through and make an impact on Worcester State.
Oh, that's quite a community. Can you tell our viewers one thing about the STEM fields that they might not even know?
Sorry. Sure. I think I would have to return, and I know it doesn't make sense to return to something I've just said, but I think that one thing that people don't realize is the interdisciplinary nature of all of the research that people do. So the biologists are constantly talking to people in the chemistry fields or the mathematics or the computer science, that these kind of connections are really how research gets done, that the research isn't happening in isolation, that it really gets stronger through the ability to pool our resources.
That's very interesting. Is there anything else that you would like to add about the STEM Center?
I think that what I'd like to leave people with is that we are that landing pad for ideas, for people to approach us with thoughts about what they'd like to see. So they should make sure to reach out to us, that we are here to provide a vibrant research and education community at Worcester State. And we want to be a place where people can come to us with ideas and we can make them a reality.
Thank you again, Dr. Barnard. Your answers and research are greatly appreciated by all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this segment of The Beat. Please remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We will see you next time.